we have a different metric for what privilege is. And that is the privilege is,
To serve.
can I be connected to divinity?
Yeah.
That's the highest privilege, you know? Oftentimes we see people too, because in America we have so much material privilege. And then it's very attractive if you're growing up in a poor country. And when we were younger, India was very poor. So the goal of the parents was, I got to get my kids, got to get them in educate, you know, we got to get them very educated, get into good universities, get good test scores, get good grades, ship them off to Toronto, New York, San Jose, and get them good jobs so they can actually have the privilege that we never got. And very often we see this, and Indians, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. We see that they lose some of the real privilege, the real sattvic and pure sattvic, the real spiritual privilege that they had. And that was deep connection with family, deep connection with community, deep connection with God. And because when you're in the cyclone of the United States of America and all that it is, you can forget about all those things in the name of in the name of the bait on the end of the hook. Huh?
Oh, Raghunath, you just
Think
laid
about
it out
that.
there. Yeah, that's our privilege. What we sing in the morning. Seva adhikaro diye koro nijadasi. I desire the privilege of bhakti, the privilege of devotional service. That's what I'm looking for.
Please
Right?
give me the privilege of devotional service.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing to
Yeah.
say.
That I not be distracted by selfish ideas that lead to misery. It's a great privilege to recover our natural propensity to be happy in serving others.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from South Goa, India, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha, who's live in Mayapur with a little crew. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's episode 1535. It's February 12th, 2025. Here with Miss Mara, we're on a creative seclusion here. She's working on the Wisdom of the Sages cookbook. And I'm working on, what am I working on? I'm working on
Are you
a
working?
Six Pillars book.
Okay.
I've been working since 4:30 this morning, my friend.
You just
Working
forgot
on a
what
new
you were
cookbook,
working
and
on.
I'm working on my new solo podcast, which isn't a daily podcast. It's definitely not a daily podcast. But Radha Swami wanted me to work on it, so I found a week out of this trip to see what I can do.
Okay.
I need a good name. I'm open for names.
I gave you a good name for the book. It got rejected. I'm a little bit,
Which book?
I don't know if you can come to me twice.
Oh, Punk to Monk? Maybe that's why I didn't read it. Maybe that's why.
Maybe that is why. Didn't use my name.
Anyway, what's going on in Mayapur, Kaustubha?
Wonderful time here, Raghunath. Wonderful time.
I just have the best memories of Mayapur.
Well, we've had 3 days since you left. We, on the first day, we went to, that was Nityananda's parents' day. We went back to the Madan Gopal temple, the outfit that we had previously offered to them. They were wearing a blue butterfly outfit, really beautiful. We read, stories about Lord Nityananda. It was great, really nice.
Nice.
And then from there, where did we go? We went somewhere. Oh, and then we went
today you went to Bhaktivinoda
Village.
Thakur's house.
Yeah, today we went to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's
You told me
house.
this. You told me that stuff. Tell
That's
me
right.
what's
We did
going
that
on
already.
today. What's going on today, and what are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow we leave 5:30 in the morning, but today we went to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, and it was wonderful, really nice. Yesterday we got a tour of the TOVP.
Okay.
Mind blown, Raghunath. Mind blown.
Yeah, it's incredible. Did you go to the Nisringadev wing?
Yeah, they took us right inside there. We could look up. We saw some of the new paintings that they did.
It's unbelievable.
But we had a good tour guide who explained a lot of things. You know what he told us, Raghunath? That when that chandelier is coming down the middle of that incredibly massive, insanely huge dome.
Yeah. It's
And
the
like,
biggest dome in all of India.
it's got to be one of the biggest domes in the world.
Yeah, maybe.
And
Maybe not like the Astrodome, but
yeah, I don't think those
otherwise.
count. Those don't count.
The
Maybe as
dome
big as the
stadiums.
Astrodome for all I know.
Maybe
It's like it's
it
huge.
could be. It is very, you know, it might
It's
be
got to be a lot
higher than the
higher than
Astrodome.
much higher than the Astrodome. But the material, like the 14 planetary systems of the material world and so on,
Yeah.
that that's going to be like physical, and it's going to be rotating. The whole thing's going to be spinning. But the spiritual realm, the Vaikunthas, and ultimately all the way up to
Yeah.
Goloka Vrindavan, that's going to be like virtual. You're going to need to wear special glasses to be able to see it.
That's going to be so next level. I talked to
Isn't
the
it?
scientists. I said, what's going on? They're like, truthfully, we're still freaking figuring it out.
Yeah.
I also asked them, I said, well, how do you make sure, like, because you know how, like, when we were young, we used to watch Star Trek and we're like, oh my God, that's so real. And now you watch Star Trek and like, this is so fake. Like, how do you, things always get upgraded year after year after year. How do you keep it cutting edge? And they said, yep, that's what we're dealing with. We're trying to figure that out.
When we were there with him speaking, and I spoke a little bit, but really getting the understanding of what Srila Prabhupada is doing, that he's taking, the Vedic literatures are so vast and they're hard to figure out, and they're hard to put together, and he's going to do it visually for everyone. You can see the whole thing. You want to understand who you are, what this world is, what's beyond it, how you fit in, where you can go. You can just see it all right there. And it's all going to be backed up with the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam and all the Vedic scriptures, Beyond that, he's taking the most masterful work, the Brihat Bhagavatamrita. And, the 5 balconies as you go up higher and higher into that dome are going to have displays where the entire story is told. This like incredible spiritual masterpiece that practically nobody knows about. He's going to show it to the whole world, in such a dynamic way. I can understand when people say something like, they'll say, well, why are you spending all this money on this big building? Why not like feed people with it? And I understand the sentiment behind that. But there's also something to like a society also investing in something that is meant to uplift everyone's consciousness. Because if we can do that, then there'll be plenty of money giving and caregiving and sharing. And, it's like,
it's not like that's not part of the mission. Whenever people say that, I feel like saying, how many people are you feeding? Like, it's like they're already feeding so many people. Well, that's part of the mission, is to feed. But of course, there's the holy place. You want to establish a temple in a holy place.
I mean, they're going to be feeding tons and tons of people here too.
Feeding a lot of people
on as well.
I was fed quite well when I was there, and truthfully, I was fed quite well. But some of the most delicious looking food was the food they were handing out for free.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice kitchery. Yeah. So, in any case, I think we really can't imagine what this temple is going to do for the spiritual temperament of the world, the potential that this temple, every other massive temple you go to in India, they're very special and they're very powerful, but it's kind of like the faithful people stand in line, you get a quick darshan, you move on. You say your prayer, move on.
Yeah.
This is going to be this massive educational facility. It's going to be like, you didn't just go there and offer your prayer. You went there and you had your whole mind blown by all this information that you were never able to put together before in your head, with brilliant people explaining it and taking you through all the different levels and all the different displays in the museum. That's part of, you could spend the whole day in this place. You could come here and spend a week and just investigate different parts of it, each day. This is
what to speak of the entire campus. It's this doesn't, I don't want this to sound degrading in any way, but it is like a Krishna conscious Disneyland. It's like something you go with your family. There's food, there's cows, there was an elephant, there's a beautiful temple, there's a river, there's snacks, there's incredible darshan, there's like movies people watch. It's great.
Yeah. So
it's totally, and that's what Indian, it was beautiful to watch all the families that come. all the young kids and the girls dress up and the boys dress up. It's just
So sweet.
it's like nice, pious people.
Yep. Yep. But this will attract people from all over the world. People will walk in there. You know, I think my experience, I think your experience, when we were first introduced to bhakti, to Krishna consciousness,
Yeah.
things that were in our minds and in our hearts were clicking and being articulated far better than we could ever do ourselves. You know, that's part of that experience. Like, that's what I've thought, but that makes perfect sense the way this is being expressed. And they did it again, and they did it again, and they did it again. And then
Sure.
your faith in it starts to grow. I can picture thousands and thousands and thousands of people every year having that experience in that temple. Like, I get it now. Now it all makes sense, you know? This is the best explanation of my existence that I've ever heard before. This is tremendously thoughtful and powerful and consistent and inspiring and beautiful and poetic.
And what's cool is it's engaging all these devotees who have some type of special talent, architecture, these scientists, artists, and it's tying it all together. So they're doing modern day engagement in like Vedic arts. And these Vedic arts, they do give faith. When you see dramas, when you hear really refined kirtan, and when you see dance, it just gives you faith in the culture.
Did they take you to all the different rooms on like the first level?
I think we got the budget version.
Yeah,
it was like Ananta Gauranga leading us around on some renegade. One of the guys keeps on yelling at us, okay, come back. But I don't think we got the big tour.
They took us on this level that's below the level that the temple floors are on.
The lower planetary systems?
Not the lower planetary systems.
Wouldn't it be great if you go, okay, now we're going to go to one of the hellish planets?
It was not, it was not in any way like that. But it was like this is a festival kitchen where, this number of people could all cook at one time for the big festival.
Oh yeah, we went into the kitchens.
Yeah, this room will be for the storage for this deity. This will be for making jewelry. This will be for making flower garlands. Then they bring us to this
kitchen, a sweet kitchen,
bakery, sweet kitchen, all those different things. Then they took us into one huge room and they said, this is like the community service room where, like, for big holidays, people that aren't pujaris, the regular priests in the temple, they can all come here and we could have like 2,000 people serving in this room at one time. It was like, it's an incredible facility. It's an amazing, and then that night we went to Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi at nighttime, and we went up high and we looked at the view of the TOVP, and it's just like, we're just sitting there just in awe, just our hearts just like moved just by looking at this massive, glorious, majestic temple to be. I'm looking forward to that place opening up, brother. I think you and I should do tours in there,
I think there should be a special raise funds to build elevator to hell, and it just goes into the center of the earth.
Well, that lower planets will be there on that chandelier,
No, it's got to go below. This is what I'm finally learning, and Nityananda put it on the board. The hellish planets are below the lower planetary systems. You got to go down below, really deep down. The elevator only goes one way, down, and you just go through layers of hell.
You could have like Slayer playing in there or something like that.
Well, almost like this is the Disneyland. Then you have one of those horror houses like they used to have Long Beach, New Jersey. You used to go to one of those haunted houses.
All right.
Anyway,
we've had a wonderful 2 days here. We're missing you guys, but we've had a. Anyway, let's hear from a pilgrim here. We can hear what he has to say. Right?
Oh, we're gonna meet a pilgrim. Who are you gonna bring on? Hey, can I just share Krishna miracles, by the way? Oh, okay. So me and Mara, 11th hour, booked a place to stay.
11th hour.
At the 11th hour in Calcutta, we booked a place to stay, and check it out. There are 2 super high-end but completely dirt cheap vegan restaurants right by us, like right outside our door. What do you think of that?
My mind is blown. That's a Krishna
Isn't that
miracle.
Incredible? That's a Krishna miracle. There's only 2 vegan restaurants here.
I'm not sure if that qualifies as Krishna miracle.
I just had a cacao, peanut butter, frozen banana with reishi mushrooms,
okay.
Reishi mushroom smoothie right before the show. Now I'm having a vegan chai latte. for
I'm
120
sure you're
rupees.
enjoying
Come
yourself
on.
there, Raghunath, and we all appreciate that back.
I am. I am,
Okay.
but I'm doing a lot of work. Okay,
Let's
who do you
bring.
got to meet the pilgrim today
We got
before we dive
Miguel.
into the Bhagavatam?
Miguel, aka Brother Nature.
Yes, Brother
Please
Nature's
join
here.
us,
Harry
Miguel.
Brother Nature.
What a
Come on
great
down.
devotee. Yeah. Just squeeze in here.
You know what?
Yeah.
He's a great soul.
Yeah.
It shows how here is a guy. I don't think there's a temple near where he lives. He just gets into it from the
He can tell you.
podcast, his own personal study, his sage group. Brother
him
Nature,
tell
Harry
you the
Ball,
story.
how are you? You got to talk right into the microphone, Brother Nature. Tell
How's
us your
this?
story. Oh, that sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
What's your story, Prabhu?
Well, this is my second time behind the microphone. I would hate to on the show. First time was in at the GV in 23.
Oh, that's right. Well,
Yeah.
If we missed that show, tell
I
us your story.
10 seconds. I was introduced to Bhakti through your interview on the Rich Roll podcast.
Boom.
Boom.
Rich Roll.
The OG one back in 2001. No, in 2021, I think. Late 2020, early 2021. And the rest is history. I seeked association around my neck of the woods, Seattle, Washington. I found the temple there. And 2 years later, I'm in the GV with you guys. 2 years later, I'm here in Mayapur in the Holy Dam.
Did you meet Isabella Kay? She's from Washington. She's with you guys right now.
We actually crossed paths here. So we never hang out
Krishna
in
miracle.
That is a Krishna miracle. We never hang out in Seattle, but it just only took a 25-hour flight to come hang out here in Mayapur at the same time.
Unbelievable. That's a Krishna miracle right there. And so you basically, you don't have much association there. How do you keep because I've noticed you have a very high vibe consciousness just from associating with you in person the few times I have. How do you keep yourself high?
Well, you just mentioned it. It's all through the mercy of association of devotees. Not just the temple, but regularly listening to the podcast, but also going beyond that, the sage groups. They are truly a lifeline. This is my 9th sage group.
Wow.
So I've been on every single session almost.
That would be from the beginning, I think, right?
That's right, from the beginning. And the second, it was announced that you could sign up for a second one. I did.
So he's in 2 now, 2 sage groups.
You know
at
what?
the moment.
Some people are doubling up on sage groups, I see. And you know what? Good for them. Why not? Double it. I'm going to make a t-shirt, a Wisdom of Sage shirt that just says double it.
So you're going to ask about the experience in Mayapur? Let's hear.
Yeah. Now, what do you feel about, this is your second time in India, but first time in Mayapur. What's your vibe there? Because there's nothing really like it.
There really isn't. There are just no words to describe it. I'll be honest with you, it's tough. Because the Holy Dam, number one, necessitates of you a very high level of awareness of where you are, who you are engaging with, and what is a proper mood. And that takes a mental, a physical toll, but also a spiritual toll. Just to be able to keep up, and to remain humble too. So that in itself, it's a tall order.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you get to Govardhan Hill.
Right.
You're right now. You're in the
the
land
easy
of
place.
mercy. This is where it's supposed to be easy. But you know what? I think that's very insightful. Yeah, it's like you're forced to see who you've been performing to be, and that juxtaposed against who you actually are, your spirit self. And that's a beautiful realization, because part of your self-realization is to realize the real self, and part of it is to realize what I've been parading around as in my false self costumes. And I don't know what it is about these DOMs, but they're not ordinary places. Maybe it's the association or the accountability or the 100% all in when you're there. There's almost like no time or space for Maya. You just turn your head. There's a deity. You turn your head the other way. There's like some guy distributing prasad. You turn their head. There's a kirtan. It's like you can't get away from Krishna. And after a while, you start to see yourself in relationship, and that can get Perhaps you can feel like, well, what am I doing? How not serious am I about this stuff? But in that, if you have the right attitude, you can say, you know what? It's time for me to stand taller. And I think that's sort of what happens to people like you who have great attitudes and are sincere.
Absolutely. The Dam, it's got a very magical way of, as you mentioned, to show you where you are at every point
Yeah.
in time. But if you allow it, it can also show you what are the things that you need to work on. But also it highlights the good things that you're doing, because the association that you keep next to you, and I truly mean this, I am so fortunate. It reflects the good in you. It brings the best out of people that are next to you, and that just feeds you, and it charges your battery for the next time that you decide to come back.
Beautiful. What a great story. What are you going to do with this? Oh, well, you're about to go to Vrindavan, right? Do you have any
Yes.
expectations? Have you been there before?
No, I've never been there. No expectations other than just seeking the blessings and the mercy.
That's the way to go. If you go with that attitude, you'll get it. People go to the Dham with just bad conceptions of what the Dham is. How can I have fun in the Dham? How can I enjoy the Dham? It's a wrong way to go. You go with the guru and you go and you get shown what to do and you ask, what can I do in the Dham? And that's how all the acharyas have gone there. Gone there. We're reading, me and Mara are reading that Narottam book. That's how Narottam Das Thakur went to the Dham. He just gets showed around the Dham, and then it becomes like surfing the big waves, and it's like ecstatic, and it keeps your ego out of the center. So you're gonna do great. I think your head's on straight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna need all the blessings I can get. But if I may just share, thank you, Prabhu. If I just may share just really quickly one realization that I had.
Please.
And this occurred during Nityananda's appearance day, and it's what I was able to take away from the Jaga and Madai story. Lord Nityananda is the Lord Himself. He's knocking on doors, begging people to take on the holy name. And if that doesn't strike you as number one, odd, and number two, as the total sense of humility for God Himself to come to your feet and ask you, please love me back. That is all I'm asking from you. I don't know what else what else I can say. Again, there are just no words for what
That's a great
Mayapur, what the
realization.
Holy Dam is done to me, and I can only hope for more of those realizations to come to me and come to my fellow pilgrims. Yes.
That's a deep realization. Begging you to get closer, and still we're keeping God at a distance. Not quite ready for you, God. I'm busy. I've got a plan. Can I take you in small doses, like a condiment to my life? Oh, Krishna. You could say some prayers for me while you're at it. All right. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you for having me, and thanks everyone.
Whoa.
Howdy,
How
howdy.
about a round of applause here for
Thanks,
Mother
God.
Nature? Yeah.
Howdy, Bo. Where do you find these people? Unbelievable.
I tell
Who else you got
these
over
are-
there, Kaustubha?
Sorry?
Who else you got over there?
You want to get it? I think, we have Sachar here. We got Mikey Goldberg, and we have Narayani.
Sachar. Grab Sachar. Let's talk to him.
Sachar, you're on the
I
show.
don't
You all
even
right?
know his story. Sachar, bring him down.
All right.
All right.
That's
All right.
Raghunath's favorite thing to do. It's like now he's running wild.
It's fun. You get to meet people. Hey, Sachar, Hairball.
Hi, Bo.
How are you? Now, Sachar, we found him just at the Govardhan Eco Village, and then we just said, we're claiming you as ours. So what were you doing? You're from Israel. That I know. And did you come to India looking for bhakti or looking for God, or you already knew about bhakti? What's your story?
I met the devotees around 7 years ago.
Okay.
I was just looking for vegetarian food in Japan,
Oh,
and I
that
got to
old.
Govinda's. That's
Krishna miracles, right there, Raghunath.
pretty much. Um, and then from there, I went to London, where I saw Govinda's again. So that's how I got into a temple the first time. And at the same time, a close friend of mine met the devotees in Israel, actually. So by the time I got back to Israel, I just started going with him to Bhagavad Gita classes, and started practicing pretty much right away.
Wow.
Yeah, and now I came to India to do the yoga teacher training at GV, and yeah, I didn't really
Right.
plan on leaving GV at all. It was just meeting you guys and
Mm.
Jiva kind of like forcing me to come with you.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and yeah, it's been an amazing experience being in Mayapur, and continuing to Vrindavan is kind of like mind blowing. Yeah, I never planned to
Wow.
do that, and yeah, really grateful.
And you know our friends in
Super
Israel,
cool.
like Talia and Ella, and
Yeah, we all come from the same community. Talia is actually at GV now.
Oh.
Yeah, she's doing the teacher training as
Oh,
well.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I sense that pinch.
Unbelievable.
That Raghunath's got that pinch. What? Am I supposed to feel good about that, or should she have been with me? Yeah, there's that.
All right.
So yeah, where
What's
we need
next
you.
for you?
After
What's
Vrindavan, I'm
next for
going
you,
back to
Sachar?
GV. After Vrindavan, I'm going back to GV to do some service. I'll be there for a month. Then I'll go back to Israel. And from there, I'm checking with the Bhakti Center. Yeah,
Wow.
that's the plan.
Sounds like one of these
The
people
life
making
you
bold
live.
decisions in their life, right? Isn't
You know
it?
what? Sometimes you just got to claim it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to just say, Krishna, I am yours. You are mine. Let's do this, Krishna. Let's do this dance.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, trying to figure out.
I admire that.
You're doing great. Everybody loves you. Thanks, Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Let's have a round of applause for Sachar.
Howdy, whoa. Amazing.
Yeah.
Israel's got a whole Krishna conscious scene there.
Yeah, sure.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
All right.
What's next?
Let's do the Srimad Bhagavatam. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam madhurayat. Before we start the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, and to Narayan, Rishi, the supermost human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtitiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 24, Text 26.
Okay. Things are getting wild, Raghunath. King Satyavrata found a little fish in the water. He was just scooping up some water in his hands, and there's a little tiny fish in there. What did the fish say?
I need more space. I need more space. It's
Well,
cramping
first
me.
he just said, "Take care of me," right?
Oh, yeah. Take care of me. Save me. I take
Yeah.
shelter of you.
And then so he put
So
him in like a
he's-
fish bowl, a jar of some sort,
You grew out of that.
real quick. Then he put him in
He's-
something bigger. He kept growing.
Put
Now
him in a
he's growing
bathtub, got big. Put him in a pond, got too big. Put him in a lake, too big. Put him in the ocean, scared of the sharks.
huge. Yeah.
Can't remember where else. what
Well,
happened.
that's
at
essentially
that
what's
point.
happened. So text 26, he's just grown too much. And King Satyavrat is saying, who is this fish? And why don't you read text 26?
You know, he's seeing a miracle happen.
Krishna miracle. This is a Krishna miracle, okay? Two
This
vegan
is.
restaurants
Two
nearby.
vegan
That's not
restaurants, a
exactly-
gigantic fish. That's all a Krishna miracle, man.
All right.
My Lord, I mean, what are the chances that of all the places in Palolem Beach here that there's two vegan restaurants right outside our room?
I'm not
Come
sure.
on.
But
Low,
might be.
low.
Okay. I don't know if it reaches miracle status, though. All right, hit it, Rabbi.
Oh, ye
Don't
of
be
little
upset.
faith.
Don't be upset with me.
For the doubting soul, there's neither faith in this world nor the next.
I'm not doubting that they're there, but you know,
You're doubting
I
whether
think-
my miracle was. Can I see
think-
Can I choose to see the world as miraculous?
you can. I
Please.
just can. I choose not
I
to
know,
sometimes.
I just think it's going to be better for you and your people to open up your heart and kick that skepticism out, shoo that skepticism away.
It might be good for you to have just a bit of a higher standard. It's just a little.
What do you want? A third vegan restaurant for me to think of it's a miracle? Is that what you're asking?
I don't know if that would do it either. Okay, let's read text 26.
My dear Lord, in one day you have expanded yourself for hundreds of miles, covering the water of the river and the ocean. Before this, I had never seen or heard of such an aquatic animal. My Lord, you are certainly the inexhaustible Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, Sri Hari. It is to show your mercy to the living entities that you have now assumed the form of a gigantic aquatic. O my Lord, Master of creation, maintenance, annihilation. O best of enjoyers, Lord Vishnu, you are the leader and destination of surrendered souls, of surrendered devotees like us. Therefore, let me offer my respect unto you.
Surrender devotees.
All your pastimes and incarnations certainly appear for the welfare of all living entities. Therefore, my Lord, I wish to know the purpose for which you have assumed this form of a fish. O my Lord, possessing eyes like the petals of a lotus, the worship of the demigods, who are in the bodily concept of life, is fruitless in all respects. But because you are the supreme friend and dearmost supersoul of everyone, worship of your lotus feet is never useless. You have therefore manifested in your form as a fish.
All right, so he offered his prayers. He's got it. He's got some clear vision. He knows who he's dealing with. He knows that the worship of him is something different from what's commonly done in the worship of the devas, where it's done for some material purpose, right?
Sure.
He knows that that's fruitless. Material pursuits are fruitless. Connecting with you is our real purpose in life. And he recognizes you're the supreme friend. You're the dearmost super soul of everyone.
You know, once you get that, once you really get that, nothing of this world can really entice you. That material pursuits are fruitless. Like that's either going to like enlighten you or make you super depressed. That's it. If
Sure.
you're at the go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and on top of that, there's an alternative, right? That there is this divine friend situated right there in the heart, ready for you to turn to him at any point, you know? And that there's a whole, how did he say it here? You're the supreme friend, the dearmost super soul of everyone, you know?
You know, me and Mara, there's Mara, had some realizations today.
Oh, what you got, man?
Yeah, want to hear our realization? Well, you know, everything was perfect. It's like we you know, woke up early. She wasn't feeling great, but otherwise it was perfect. Went for a beautiful walk. We a japa walk to the beach. Sat in the beach. The weather was perfect. The sun was warming. The breeze was perfect. Got too hot. Went into the water. The water was perfect temperature. We had just drank a bubble water, which Mara loves. We're about to order a raw green Thai salad.
Everybody's drinking that bubble water now. I see it.
That's the thing, Kaustubha. It's the new thing, bubble water.
It is. Isn't it?
Soda water. What do they call it, Mara, in India? Binkleys?
Kinley.
Kinley. a Kinley water. And we were sitting in the water and going, the water's perfect. And then we're going to get some lunch. And for lunch, they have this raw papaya salad, which is healthy, which is delicious. And then I'm like, this is it. This is the best it gets in the material world. Like the material, you know.
Let down. You were like,
No,
what are
you
they
just
talking-
realize there's a ceiling to sense
Yeah.
enjoyment. And it's not like we're doing like, it's going to be great. I mean, I'm intelligent enough to know that the mode of passion, happiness, is not better. And the mode of the mode of ignorance, happiness, there's happiness in the mode of ignorance, like being drunk out of your mind, dancing on a bar, hugging all your friends, you know, because there's such a downside. There's the hangover, there's the humiliation, there's the vomit, there's the arrest or whatever chaos you cause drunk. But then there's the mode of passion, which is intense hope, and we're jet setting here and there. But that leaves you a little empty also. So we were in like pure mode of goodness, happiness, good food. We read Narottam Das Thakur's book this morning, sitting in the sun. We chanted japa. Our bodies are healthy. We're sitting now. We're in the Arabian Sea. The water's super clean. We're about to eat something very healthy, and it still comes out to this: a big deal, big deal. This is it. This is the material world. That's it. Mary, you want to share any realizations on that?
No, but we've had beautiful japa walks all over the world, I'd say. You know what I mean? But it's like you're still doing the same thing no matter where you are.
And as devotees, yeah. As devotees, we're just looking for a place to eat some fresh food and do some japa. No matter what we do, even if we're in prison, even if we're in hell, that's what we just want to chant japa. Is there any good food to eat around here that's healthy and light and we can offer?
Yeah.
That's it. That's our realization today. Thank you very much. I'm Raghunath.
I thought it was significant here that not only did he share exactly what you're sharing here, right? Like you got the same realization as he's got, right? Like the material pursuits are fruitless. They're fruitless in many ways. We could say they're fruitless, but part of the way that we understand they're fruitless is because any fruit that you got disappears. There's no fruit. There's no result that we can get in this world that doesn't stay. And from our materialistic experience, we might say, yeah, well, that's the way the world works. Yeah, well, no, there's more than that, right? These texts and these yogis and these sages are saying that there is something beyond that. You just have to have the courage and the faith and some curiosity.
Sure.
To look into it and experiment with it. Maybe you can find it if you look, you know, but I was telling you, but so he's saying he gets that much, but he's also saying he's tuning into the alternative, that beyond that, there's another happiness that comes because you can connect with this person who's the supreme friend and the dearmost super soul of everyone. And that when you connect with him, that's never useless. It's never fruitless. You know, it's all full on positive and eternal. I don't know if I'm frozen or you're frozen. I think it's me. No, maybe it's you. I think Raghunath froze. Yeah, he's probably got worse internet than me being in Goa. Anyway, until Raghunath comes back, I was about to share with him that when we went to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house today, which is the home of one of the greatest teachers in our lineage, you know, who he was born in 1838, and he lived in that house, I guess, you know, later in life, in his married life. He wrote a whole song book called Sharanagati. And within that song book, he shared his own experience about what he feels when he's chanting the holy name. You know, there's something deeper to feel than just material happiness. And his description of it was fascinating because, hey, there you are, Raghunath.
Hi.
You back?
What'd I miss?
I shared just a little bit about Satyavrata, you know, recognizing that there's this alternative, there's this supreme friend, this dearmost super soul within the heart, and that connecting to him is never useless, as material pursuits are useless.
Sure.
But
you know, material. Go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was saying that we were reading from the song I was telling you about before the show. Remember?
Oh yeah, you got a song you were gonna read?
Well, I don't know if I'll read the whole song. It's actually it's only 8 verses, but the translation is very long. It's very detailed. So maybe I'll just read a little bit that was relevant to this. But the song is part of a song book. He wrote different song books.
Sure.
There's Sharanagati, which this song is from. There's Gitavali. There's Gitamala, Kalyana Kalpacharu. Just in these 4 books, he wrote like over 260 songs. Amazing, right? I mean, prolific.
Yeah.
He's writing
Prolific.
songs. He's writing prolific books were coming out of him. He was
Yeah.
prolific children were coming out of him. Prolific.
10 or
yeah.
12 children.
He was running the huge, massive Jagannath temple. He was a high court justice that the British government was really dependent on. So much so that they built a train track right to his house because he wanted to live in this holy place, and they needed him to be.
He's one of the. It was just one of those competent people. Some people in this world are incredibly competent, and some of us have very small bandwidth.
Yes, and what he shares is it's beyond competence. He begins to, we talk so much about chanting of this holy name, connecting with this Lord that's within us, this Lord that's within his name. And he began to share in this song. He wrote this song in that house, Raghunath. I could imagine like at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, like he's up when everybody else is sleeping. And he's sharing his like innermost experiences in this song that we could read centuries later and understand that where our meditation is meant to take us. And you want to hear what he says, Raghunath? His experience?
Please.
I'm just going to read a little piece of it. The whole thing is just at every step, the whole thing is mind-blowing. But he begins to describe what it feels like when that name is when he fully connects with that name, not as just a mantra, but as a person, that he's relating with the person Krishna in the mantra, and he's having these internal feelings. And in some ways, he's saying it's so powerful that it takes him over. It's almost like he's a victim to it, And he's saying, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I think I need to. Oh, yeah. He says it's like this. He says that we may fall in a swoon and the whole body and mind will appear as if it's been attacked. It's being attacked, shivering, and influenced in different ways. Apparently, it may seem that so many troubles are created in the body and the mind. But the real heart is check. No, but not that way. Check. But he says, apparently it may seem that so many troubles are created in the body and in the mind, but the real heart is overflowing with a particular kind of strange, sweet juice. Sometimes the devotee thinks, I'm in an ocean of nectar. My whole existence is within an ocean of nectarian liquid. I'm besides myself. I can't understand where I am. Where am I? What is this? What is it? What is all about me? It has almost made me mad. Am I a madman? Where is my past experience, my seriousness, my gravity? Where are they? What am I? I have been converted wholesale by a foreign thing. In other words, this outside force has taken hold of me. I can't ascertain how it is possible that by my faith I have entered this great unknown environment, not experienced before. And at last I find that I am captivated. My entire being, within and without, has been captured by a particularly sweet force. Right? A particularly sweet force. I can't help being prey to such a sweet power. I can't give any proper description of this. I came to take shelter of him and accept him as my guardian. Now at his hand, I'm being dealt with in such a merciless and despotic way. In other, he's using this language to say it's like, I lost control. This is describing love. you know, like what the deepest sense and feeling of love is. And it's no longer just kind of like my religion is like this theory that I have, you know.
Mm.
But
It's
it's
like in it.
like, yeah, he's in it and he's feeling it, and he's saying, still, I feel that everything is very pleasing beyond my experience. What is this? I can't resist anymore. I'm fully captured, you know. But the way he says that he's captured and he's controlled, but it's by the most affectionate, sweet way, you know. And so when we speak of bhakti, we're recognizing, just like all the yogis, all the gyanis, all the great Eastern philosophers, they realize the futility in material pursuits. But only special yogis go beyond that. You know, like they go into this realm of divine love, which is just really beyond anything that we only can get a hint of it in this world, but we're all hankering for it, you know. We write stories about romance and movies and all this about being overwhelmed with love. And here's a man that, this prolific writer, this prolific, you know, man in society, who would wake up, you know, at the very, very earliest hours in the morning to do his meditation. And he's in his meditation, he's experiencing divine love just by chanting a mantra. Right? Just by chanting a mantra, he's actually going there, feeling it, coming back, reporting it. This is some very fascinating stuff coming from not an ordinary source, you know, just not like, it's not just like any clown just started talking about what he's experienced. This was like such a deeply respected man, you know, deeply respected within the government, widely respected within his own society. You know, serious writer, serious philosopher. But, you know, we can read in his books and in his sentiments and his songs. This was one, you know, one really special person sharing something deep within himself.
And you went to his house today. Very
We
cool.
went to his house. Yeah, it was wonderful. So,
Material
anyways,
life is futile, Kaustubha.
I'm with you, Raghunath. I'm with you.
Sometimes
And
people get into this thing where, like, well, you know, my life is going really good, so my next phase is make sure my kids have it okay. And the idea is
Yeah.
like, we're going to set up the kids. We tend to think that giving our kids some type of upper hand or privilege is a good thing.
Well, that's
You know
kind
what I
of
mean?
the American dream. That's what they call
That's
it.
the American dream. I've done good. I've made it. I was struggling. My parents were struggling, but we built ourselves up. And the idea is that we've got this, I've got a privilege now. I'm going to pass that privilege on. And oftentimes, not just on a rare
Kids aren't
occasion, you
interested in
see sometimes having that privilege ruins a person's life. It doesn't necessarily enhance their life. Sometimes they become greedy. Sometimes it develops horrible fights among siblings. Sometimes it could even involve death, fighting and death, or hatred between the people, kids. You want your kids to all love each other. The very bucket of money you're going to leave on them could be the cause of them hating each other.
That does
Very
happen.
often, we have a different metric for what privilege is, and that is the privilege is,
To
can I
serve.
be connected to divinity?
Yeah.
That's the highest privilege, you know. Oftentimes we see people too, because in America we have so much material privilege, and then it's very attractive if you're growing up in a poor country. And when we were younger, India was very poor, so the goal of the parents was, I got to get my kids, got to get them in educate, you know, we got to get them very educated, get into good universities, get good test scores, get good grades, ship them off to Toronto, New York, you know, San Jose, and get them good jobs so they can actually have the privilege that we never got. And very often we see this, and Indians, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, we see that they lose some of the real privilege, the real sattvic and pure sattvic, the real spiritual privilege that they had. And that was deep connection with family, deep connection with community, deep connection with God. And because when you're in the cyclone of the United States of America and all that it is, you can forget about all those things in the name of in the name of the bait on the end of the hook. Huh?
Oh, Raghunath, you just
Think
laid
about
it out
that.
there. Yeah, that's our privilege. What the you know, we sing in the morning. You know, Seva adhikaro diye koro nijadasi. You know, I desire the privilege of bhakti, the privilege of devotional service. That's what I'm looking for.
Please
right?
give me the privilege of devotional service.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing to
Yeah.
say.
That I
It's-
not be distracted by selfish ideas that lead to misery. It's a great privilege to just to recover our natural propensity to be happy in serving others.
Everybody on this path is the most privileged because you're getting the opportunity to be joyous with nothing. Joyous at the time of death, joyous if you ever get sent to prison, joyous if you're facing death or you're on death's doorstep, joyous if you've got some terminal sickness or some chronic condition. You're given the privilege to transcend the body and mind. That's the ultimate privilege. It's got
Yeah.
no financial metric or some white privilege or brown privilege or beauty privilege. We talk about all these. That's all material privilege, and it can get you some material perks. Big deal. It can also ruin your life. How many times have you seen people who are very wealthy ruin their lives, or they have like zero connection with their family or their loved ones, or they have some beauty privilege where they maybe have low self-esteem. All the material privileges are not an actual privilege. Real privilege is bhakti yoga. Come on.
Mm.
Come on.
We were sharing with Jiva today at Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, saying, Jiva, you know, you're just building a strategy in your life where at the end, this is what you get. This is the privilege that we're looking for, right? You'll be an old lady. You'll have a chair set down in front of your house, you know, and you'll have a bead bag in your hand, you know, maybe some Coke bottle glasses, you know, over your eyes.
I could see Jiva in some big Coke bottle glasses. Yeah.
Right. And chanting the name, and your heart is completely free. There's no anxiety. There's no frustration. There's no bitterness. There's just happiness. Chanting that name, you're happy just with that. And people are coming up, like the younger people come and say, "Oh, tell us about bhakti. Tell us about your service. How do we become more like you?" Oh, you know, and you're just sitting there with this happy heart. You know, that's the privilege that we're looking for.
That's the highest privilege. And I'm giving that to you.
Really? Right now?
You can have it. You just take it. You gotta want to take it. You gotta want it. Lord Chaitanya is giving that away. Oh, it's free for the taking, people.
We were in Godruma Dweep. We were in Surabi Kunj, the center of the headquarters of Nityananda, just giving this stuff out.
Begging.
Yes,
Okay, speaking of begging, I'm gonna have to beg your pardon because it's time to go.
I beg your
Got some
pardon.
takeaways before
Miss-
we leave?
I beg your
I should have
pardon.
done it.
Sit up tall, Mara.
Okay, seats a little lower than yours. I
Oh,
think.
is that come
Yeah.
closer though?
In previous years in Goa, you used to be sitting in a restaurant trying to do this. So this is definitely a step
Oh yeah,
up.
that's right.
True.
That's right. We're moving on up.
Yeah, although our internet connection is still not good.
Yeah.
But not as
Okay.
bad as it was then, I think.
It's true.
Good memory. I forgot all about that.
You
Uplift.
were
know, it
having
was
a
weird
different
that-
special drink every day. There's guys walking behind you the whole time.
Yes.
You had your
Yes.
coconut flavored drink or whatever it was.
Oh, that's right. I missed that. Well, you know, I remember that time. I remember one Indian guy on tourist came up to me. He's like, "Are you Ray Capo from Wisdom of the Sages? I saw you on Joe Rogan." I was like, "This is unbelievable." Some Indian guy just came up to me last time in Goa.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was that
Crazy.
Goa or is that Mumbai?
That was Goa.
That was Goa.
That happened in
Although it did
Mumbai
happen in
too.
Mumbai,
That happened at Marine Drive in Mumbai.
right after the flower festival.
Yeah, miracle after miracle, Kaustubha. You got to open your eyes and see them. They're there waiting for you. Pluck those miracle flowers.
All right, for our takeaways.
But did you just eat the miracle flower? What was that?
You just pluck them. No, you smell them.
Oh, you smelled it. Mara,
Uplift
please.
your consciousness to care for everyone.
Okay.
Care for cows.
High vibe
Oh, we
consciousness.
spent some good cow time the other morning. too
Oh,
here.
really?
Did you?
That's
Ah,
Oh
great.
yeah, man.
Those are
That's
good.
cool.
High vibe consciousness comes from good association.
Yep, got that from
Miguel.
Miguel.
The holy Dom necessitates a high level of awareness to keep up and stay humble.
Don't be a dum-dum. Go to the dom-dom.
Self-realization forces you to see your spirit self and not who you're presenting as.
Ooh, the presenter. Ouch.
Good association brings out the best in you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Seek the blessings and mercy of the Vaishnavas.
These are all brother natures, man.
I know, he had some good stuff.
The guy is gold.
He is gold. God is begging us to come closer.
That was his too.
Yeah.
He's begging us. Please come closer. We're like,
Material pursuits are fruitless. Divine connection is our only goal.
Okay, that was Bhagavatam.
that was
Yeah.
Bhagavatam.
Surrender to divine love.
All right.
I don't remember that one, but okay.
Connection to divinity is the highest privilege.
How about double it? Was that one of them?
That's always one of them. No, I don't think so.
How- Surrender to divinity is the highest privilege. Okay.
Yeah. And open your heart to more Krishna miracles.
I'll try. I'll try.
Yes. Pick that Krishna miracle bud. Give it a whiff, then take a bite of it.
What if you just call
Thanks for
it
joining us,
anything a
everybody.
Christian miracle, Raghunath, just anything. You know, then it's not as meaningful when the real miracle comes along. That's all I'm saying. Think about that. Think about
See the
it,
miracles that are right in front of us. Do you know that looking at a leaf is a miracle? Leaves are
That
miracles.
is. But two
Blades
vegan
of grass,
restaurants.
miracles.
I agree
A
with you about the
tangerine.
leaf and-
Tangerine
I
is a
agree.
miracle.
I agree.
2 vegan restaurants, gourmet vegan restaurants, right outside my door. Miracle.
No, that doesn't cut it. I'm sorry.
Mara's smiling face, a miracle.
Yeah, that is for sure.
We're going to Osaka. We're going to Tokyo to see Dominica. We need some kirtan party, Dominica. Let's get that going.
You got to find Radhika Raman and
Rollerblading around there somewhere. We'll find him.
where's that?
Yeah, you don't know him, but he's a buddy of ours. Aaron.
Oh, there's no show tomorrow.
Oh, no
Oh,
show
no
tomorrow because
Good call. Hey, could we do the other shows at 4:30 maybe instead of?
we're open. We're open to as you like.
Okay, why don't you look for that, everybody? But we may do that shows a little bit earlier. Maris giving me a squinty on the thing. No, you're into
Is that working, Mara?
Works for us, yeah. As you like.
What time was
So
that
it'd be
back
6
home?
a.m. Eastern.
6 a.m. We're back. Sleep in
Do,
time.
do we
is
want to go ahead and
over.
confirm that now?
I can confirm it. Can you confirm it? Let's
All right.
confirm it, peeps. You
6
got that,
a.m.
Brian,
Eastern
Lori,
time on Friday.
Nityananda Chandra. Who else is here today?
Nityananda Chandra's got it.
Tomas, Daragrahi, Brew, Dominica, coming your way. Origato. Let's find some vegan sushi. What do you say? Give me some miso, nashi, dashi, por favor. Origato.
Sure. Oh, yeah,
Sandy
she's in
Seymour
Tokyo.
Davis. Kirtan Tokyo, yes. Let's do this.